Now, as that knee starts to open, you'll feel that the hip wants to open a little bit more, and then continuing, letting that hip rotate until I meet the ball. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my 3 favorite drills for better rotation and downswing. Some will be activated by the legs, some will be helping you rotate your chest better through the ball. So let's get into it. For those of you that tuned in and watched last week's video, you would have seen I took my very first golf lesson in a long time from long drive specialist and speed specialist Steve Furlonger. And he gave me a fantastic drill to help me get my chest more open through impact. Some of my problems are in my downswing. I stay very closed. I slide a little bit to the target. I get a bit underneath it, and my exit gets very high, causing me to have some blocks and certainly some of those shots that turn over a little bit. So for me to neutralize my path and help me get my hands arcing back around me, he gave me a great drill to help the hand path get back around me, and that was called the open book drill. So for me, all I had to do was place the club into this position here, which we would regard as P6. Okay, so when the shaft is parallel to the ground on the way down, and I had to open my right hand like so. From here, I had to keep my right hand here, and then I had to really stretch and open up like a book. As I did this, I had to feel like the club went quite low and around me, and my chest angled quite high and to the left. That gave me great extension through the ball and really helped me get around it a little bit better. So from here, the drill again was to start moving the handle around me, letting that left arm release, allowing for the chest to start opening up, leaving my right hand there, and I can feel that really big stretch. Now, for me, what I quite liked about that was I liked the feeling of my hands exiting quite low and around me. So for me, that really helped me understand how to release the club and how to get my chest more open. So what I've been doing is I've been having a couple of practice swings where I feel that. So I'd go to the top, work down, feel like my chest opens up and angles high, and then I would hit a few shots feeling the same sensation. And I really like the idea of that. Whereas normally I'd go to the top, suck the club underneath, closed and that way. So again, I've been going to the top, coming back down, opening my hand, feeling like that left shoulder pulls back, really feeling like that chest opens up, and then hitting a shot from there. And you can just see now, I know the flag's not on the right distance, but you could just see for me how that ball's starting to peel away. It will bounce off the rocks there. Ball's starting to peel away, where for me, I feel a little bit more comfortable with that shape. And I actually picked up a little bit of speed too. I actually picked up a little bit of speed because I was actually adding in that rotational force, which really helped me get the club through the ball. So the second drill, or not even a drill, but a feeling to help you get rotated, is a little bit more around the feet and knees. So something that I see stops a lot of people is they set up and they have their feet very, very square, almost pointing straight down like 2 train tracks here. And actually, if you experiment with this at home, if you peel your feet inwards like so, you'll see that works the knees very internal, twisted inwards. Now, do this very slowly, but as you start to rotate through, you'll feel a block. You'll feel a block up the knees, ankles, and hips. And actually, if my feet are flared a little bit more, I've now opened up the shins, knees, and hips, and it's a little easier for me to rotate through the ball. So the very first thing I'd make sure is that my feet are in a more flared out position. I would say 20-30 degrees is plenty. When you look down at your feet and you see what 20 and 30 degrees are going to look like, that is going to look quite extreme. But don't be alarmed, when you video it back, you'll see that it looks relatively normal. From here, I want you to understand that as you go to the top, there is a blend of forward and rotational. And as I was saying about in the first part, in my own game, I struggle to get that rotational side and I get very drivey towards a target like this. So for me, a really good feel is that as you go to the top, you want to feel like this left knee starts rotating towards a target. From there, if you think about it from the ground up, from there, as that knee starts to open, you'll feel that the hip wants to open a little bit more and then continuing letting that hip rotate until I meet the ball. And again, I would do a few of those working to the top, just with my fingers, just letting that knee rotate, letting that hip rotate, and then rotating the chest until the club meets the ball. You can now see my hips are about 30 degrees open at contact. And again, from there, if it was me building in a pre-shot routine, I'd be working to the top, letting the arms come down, allowing the knee and hip to rotate, holding that for just a second, and then working that into a shot. So that definitely felt there like my hips and knees worked a little earlier in the downswing. And I think for many, that can definitely help you get through the ball. But more importantly, if I just hold the shaft like this, what a lot of people don't realize is that as I rotate and solely rotate, the shaft does get brought further forward. So then if I have a little bit of lateral and a little bit of rotation, you can now see how the handle can get forward without me actually forcing it forward. So my third and final drill is one to again help the chest open up a little bit more through the ball. This one is a drill that will isolate the legs and chest so you can feel them move differently. So what you're going to do is you're going to address the ball and you're going to set up normal. Then what you're going to do is you're going to drop your right foot back to your left heel. Now, looking at this, yes, this is a very draw bias motion. Okay, so yes, this would basically allow you to work the club that way. But we're going to fight that. And actually working in opposites is quite good for making a change. So from here, I hope you agree with me that actually working the club more left would be difficult, especially because I've isolated the legs. It's very difficult now for the legs to fire open. And sometimes the legs actively opening too quickly can cause some issues as well. So by setting a little bit backwards like this, and then trying to hit fades from here, helps players, certainly like me, that get stuck underneath. It helps them work the club a little bit more out in front of them. I've really got to feel my shoulders open up here. Again, I'm really feeling like my left shoulder is peeling back. This left shoulder's peeling back. And then from here, it's easier for me to work across the ball. Now, when I do this to start with, this is going to be very difficult and you may not actually get the ball to curve from left to right. But once you start to see a bit more of a neutral flight, then what you can do is set everything back up neutral, have exactly the same sensations. And again, it will stop this sucking under, help you get the club out in front. The shoulders will be more open or certainly level at this point. And then by the time you meet the ball, slightly more open. So try and apply the same level of effort into this shot. And now you can see the ball starts left and curves back a little bit, which is great for me. So I hope some of them drills helped. And if you did like the video, please give it the thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel, it would really help me moving forward. So thanks, and I'll see you soon.